Hello crafters, in tonight's video we're going to be making a shaker card, and we're going to be making it using the Caroling Mice Cling Stamp Set. That stamp set is a hostess stamp set which you only can get when you host a show of $150 or more in sales, or if you make your own order of $150 or more in sales. I'm going to show you two different ways on how to make this shaker card, so it's going to be a little bit longer video than usual. Hi, I'm Joan Heberlein, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I created this video for Joan's Simple Paper Crafts, found right here on YouTube. If you're new here, I want to thank you for stopping by, and if you're a returning guest, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. That way you won't miss when I post a video, which is typically once a week. Now give me a few seconds to turn the camera down and we'll get started. Here's the two different kinds of shaker cards we're going to make today. This one was made with a cellophane bag, and this one was made with a window sheet. So you can see the shakers in there. And this one is that way. We're going to start with this one here. So what you're going to need is the Caroling Mice Cling Stamp Set, and then the Christmas to Remember Cling Stamp Set for the sentiment inside the card. And I think this time we're going to use the Friends Like You instead of the May This Be a Christmas to Remember and Cherish. So we're going to go ahead and start with that, and we're going to start with our 4 1/4 by 11 inch cardstock. That would be 10.8 by 27.9 centimeters. And this is basic white. And I've got a score line at 5 1/4, or that would be 14 centimeters. And I'm just going to fold it over and burnish it on that score line. And I like to burnish it on both sides to give it a nice crisp edge. And next we have our real red cardstock, and we're not going to really do anything with that right now because we want to add this with our dimensionals when we have it all assembled here. So I'm just going to set that aside. So we're going to go back to the card base, and we're going to stamp the inside of the card, and we're going to use our Smoky Slate ink. And we're going to use this stamp, Friends Like You Make This Season Special. And I'm just checking to make sure that there isn't any ink on this red rubber on the edges, because that will make a goof on our paper. So, and I'm just going to try and center it here. I'm actually going above center, but I'm centering it left to right. And that worked really well. And I'm just going to get rid of the extra ink, and then we'll run it through our Stampin' Scrub. And I haven't used this yet today, so let me take a second to spray it. And I've got our Stampin' Mist here, and I'm just going to spray it with that, and we'll just scrub that really quick here. So we'll put these two aside until the very end. And so then we have our next piece. That is 4 inches by 5 1/4, or it would be 10.2 centimeters by 13.3 centimeters of basic white cardstock. And we're just going to stamp this with our Caroling Mice. And we're going to use our Memento ink for that. I like to stamp it from the top, so that way I know when it's done. And then typically you don't get any ink on the red part of the stamp. And I want to try and get this centered here. And I'm centering it from left to right and then just doing it off center from the bottom. Okay. And then I'm just going to put the excess ink onto that piece of paper there and run it through our Stampin' Scrub again. Then we want to do our lamp post here. But if I put it on here, it's going to stamp right over the mice. So I'm going to mask this off, and I've got a mask already stamped and cut out. And I actually have one for the lamp post too. I'm going to match it down here and match his ears and his nose, his other nose, and the tail. So that works really well. And then I'm just going to cover this with ink again. And we're going to go right about here. There we go. And I'm just going to close up our ink because I think we're all done with that. And I'm going to stamp this off and scrub this as well. Then I'm going to take this and cover this up here because I want to stamp some snowflakes on here, and I don't want to mess up the lamp post. So I've got the lamp post masked off, and then we have our snowflakes in the ground and then the snowflakes above the head. So let me get out our smoky slate again. I'm going to do the ones that are in the ground. They're not really snowflakes, but it's kind of like little snow puddles, I'm thinking. And I'm just doing 3 there. And we'll stamp that off. And then I'm going to do this. We're going to make sure we don't have any ink on the part of the red rubber. And I think I got a little bit right here. So I'm just going to rub that off. I don't know if there's any on the top portion. And I'm just going to just stamp this in various spots on here. I'm just taking care not to get any on the red rubber. So I'm going to check it each time I go to the ink pad. Because that definitely would have made us mark on our project. Let's do it this way. Whoop. Another mark. We'll do one more. All right. And I'm just going to stamp that off. I think I did this one already, but we'll do it again. I think we're done with this. So I'm going to close this up. If we need it again, I will pull it back out. And let's just take this for a second and finish cleaning these up. So I don't want to put them away dirty. And we're going to need them for the next card, I believe. So now what we want to do is we want to color our mice. So let's get this all, unveil it. So this is pretty black and white. So I'm going to do some coloring here. And we can save these. So I'm going to just put these right into my stamp case. And they'll go inside the lid here, just like that. Let's see, we're going to start with our lantern. So I am going to use our light smoky slate for the lantern, and then I'm going to go right down into the mice as well. I'm going to do all the gray for this card. that's all the gray, but I did go out a little bit, so I am just going to take my color lifter and just push that back inside. So I'm just going to come right here. I'm just pushing it back into the tail there. I may have to come back and put more gray onto the tail. Sometimes I push too hard. So let's take our light petal pink and do the ears and nose for these mice. I think that's it. And next we're going to do is our lantern. So the center part of the lantern, we're going to use a light, so saffron. And we're just going to go right through there. It's a very light color. But then I'm going to come back with the dark and put the light bulb in there. So as you notice, I haven't been doing any real shading. So this is the only shading I'm going to do for this card, is for that light bulb. And I'm going to make it a dark one right here. Then I'm going to come back again over with the light, so saffron, and just kind of blend that out a little bit. So it looks like there's a little bit of a light bulb in there. We'll do a little bit right here too. Ever so subtle. Next we'll do our real red. And we've got the dark real red that we're going to be using. And we'll do the ribbon. And I think I'm just going to use the bullet tip for this one. And again, I have a little bit of out of the line here, so I'm going to push this back into the red area. We'll come back over the hand with the gray. And I want to come back with the red just to make sure that it's not going to bleed all over the place. And we'll do our gray tip. And we'll do that tail part again. So this is our light smoky slate. And we're just going to do the palm of the hand and up here. And then we've got our two greens yet. So I am going to, oh, we did forget to color his scarf over here. Scarf is yellow and his hat is yellow. Or actually, so saffron. It's the light so saffron. And the scarf is the light so saffron. I think I got that done now. Now we're going to use the light so succulent. And we're going to do this jacket here. And I think I'm going to use the paintbrush portion. And I think all I have left is the dark succulent. And let me get the paintbrush tip out. It's a tiny area there. I don't know if you noticed, but I am laying the pen tip down. So I'm using the heavier part of the tip rather than the very pointy part. I'm just using the pointy part, so I lift it up when I want just a very little bit done. And then I lay it down to get the rest of the card. That'll help save wear and tear on that tip. All right, I think I've got that done now. Okay, so let's go assemble our card now. We have this 6 by 8 inch cellophane bag, or that's 15 by 2 centimeters by 20 by 3 centimeters. And I'm just going to take these scissors and cut the right in the seam here. And there'll be enough here to do 2 cards. And I'm going to cut along the bottom and this side as well. Okay, we'll come back to that later. We want to put tape on the back of this card so that I can tape it onto the card here. And we'll do it, fold it on this side as well, and the bottom and the top. But we'll put some tape on this, and we're going to use our tear-in tape. And I'm going to put it on the long edges first. And I'm going to start as close as I can to the edge of the card and stop as close as I can to the edge of the card. And I'm going to use these scissors that have a blue handle on them. So that means I can use them with things that are going to make them sticky. And I'll know that I'll have to clean these up before I go much farther. And I can just use an alcohol swab to clean those off. And I'll just clip this down. And I am just going to rub that down really hard. I want to burnish it actually. And then I want to take this tape off of here, because I want to have full contact all the way around the card. So I'm going to put this next piece of tape on top of this piece of tape. All right. And that'll make full contact with the card then. And I'm going to come back here into the card. Okay. And I'm going to burnish that one there. And I'll just bring those back for right now. I'm going to do the same thing on this other side. I'm going to pull the paper backing off the edge of the tape. And we could pull it all back, but I don't want to put my elbow in it and then be sticky there, so I'm just pulling it partially back. And so let's go ahead and put our last piece of tape down. And we'll pull it back again. There we go. And then we're going to just rub that. And now we can go ahead and pull this off from here. So we got the two sides done. And then we can take the ends and pull this off. Here's one end. And here's the other end. And I should be using my silicone mat. Let me get that out. Shouldn't be any problems right now, but when we come to doing the dimensionals, we may have some problems. So I am just going to put this right in the center here and bring this over. And I'm making sure that I've got it snug to the edge of the card. That's really good. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side, but I'm not going to pull it really, really tight because you want to have room for those sequins inside to be able to move around a little bit. So I didn't pull it really tight. Okay, I am going to trim this edge. I need to find my scissors. So I've got quite a bit here, so I'm going to trim it and make it only about a ½ inch there. Trying to get that off from there. We'll do the same thing on this side too. And then let's just bring it up. So this is the bottom. Yes, we'll do the bottom. Bring that up. And then you've got these flaps here. So what I'm going to do there is I'm just going to kind of miter the edges. You don't want to clip it down to the very point here, because then your sequins will slip through that. So I'm just going to just take a little bit up here, kind of at an angle, like a miter angle. And let's throw these away. Then we're going to take our Seal Plus, and we're going to just use it. Make sure I got it started here. Oh, let me try this. Sometimes it works better on this adhesive eraser to get it started. And I am just going to put a little tape right down there. Trying to get it on there to get that piece stuck there. Those mitered edges, I want them to just stay in place there. Okay. Now we can go all the way around. Let's do our sequins first before we do that. So I've got some non-Stampin' Up sequins I'm just going to dump in there. And let's see. And then I've got some Stampin' Up sequins. So these are mostly a white color. And then these are some old ones from Stampin' Up. I think they're from last fall catalog. And I think the new ones have more of a bluish hue to it. I'm not sure. I don't have any of that. I didn't use these up last year, so I didn't want to buy some more. I think that's probably plenty. And I'm just going to fill that over and just shake it around and see how it's working. I think that's going to work fine. So let's see if I can't get the rest of these back in here. Oh, it's already stuck down. Forgot about that tape up there. Let's get these back in here. Okay, so now I'm going to close this up. And we'll press that down. And we're going to do the same thing to these corners. We're going to miter this off. We don't go all the way down to the edge. And we'll miter this one. And then we'll just use our Seal Plus again to get that started. And down here. Let's see, this way might work better if I go in that direction there. Okay. So we can go ahead and put Seal Plus all the way around on this card. And I am not going to stop. I am just going to continue. Because I would like it to hold tight. So that's why I'm going to continue. If this was a normal card, I would probably be doing dashes. And I think I'm at the end here. Not just about at the end of my Seal Plus here. All right, and I'm going to fold that one right back. Fold these back. So I'm just folding all those white pieces back. I'll do a little bit down the middle. There. And we need to bring in our red piece. And that piece was cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, or 10.5 centimeters by 13.7 centimeters. And I am going to center this on this, leaving like 1/16 of an inch for a border all the way around. And the thing is, you don't want to have to tear it off from here. So you want to make sure you got it measured down before you press it down. And I happen to do that today. Usually I'm not quite so lucky. So there we go. So we need to put our dimensionals on here. And I'm going to use our large dimensionals, and I'm going to put on quite a few because I want this to be able to go through the mail. And those rollers at the post office really do a number on cards, so having more dimensionals is better, and they're about a penny a piece, so it's not all that terribly expensive to add dimensionals. And I'm doing 9 dimensionals on this card. And then we're going to take our Take Your Pick tool and pull those off, the paper backings off of this. And it wrangles up those paper backings, which I really like, because they tend to even come out of the garbage yet and end up in the living room somehow. So I don't know if I got this one. I tried. Yep, there was still paper on that one. Okay. So I think we've got it here. And let's check this. We've got Friends Like You Make This Season Special. And then we're going to center it on this card. And we'll be leaving 1/16 of an inch for a border again. And this one you can probably adjust if you needed to, because they're dimensionals and they're pretty forgiving. But that seemed to go on pretty easily. Then I'm going to open it up and use my bone folder to press those on the inside, so we get a nice cling there. So there we go, one card done. Okay, next we want to make the shaker card that has the window in it. So let's get that out here. Because I want to shorten the length of the video, I've already done some of this. So I took the 5.5 inch by 8.5 inch piece of basic white, or that's 14 centimeters by 21.6 centimeters of basic white. I scored it at 5 1/4 or 13.3 centimeters. And then I stamped it with the Friends Like You Make This Season Special. And then I also adhered the 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 inches designer series paper on there, or 10.5 by 3.7 centimeters. And that's the Santa Express designer series paper with the fa la 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 la's on there. And I was just going to use my boning folder to make sure there's no glue bubbles underneath there. Okay. Next we need is our image. And I've already stamped that and colored it because we did that once already. And this is a 4 by 5.5 inch basic white, or 10.2 by 13.3 centimeters. Then I took the largest decal die, and we're going to cut that out. And it just fits on there. And I'm going to put it on here. And that comes off just like that. That's going to work really well. Then we need to do the same thing with our second piece of basic white. That's 4 inches by 5 1/4. That'd be 10.2 centimeters by 13.3 centimeters. And we're going to lay that die on there. And then we're going to take our second die right here. And then we use this tape to hold it in place. And that tape is our Post-it tape. It's a labeling cover-up tape. And I actually have one cut out already, so we don't need to do that one. And so this will save for later. We'll definitely find another card to use that with. Then we're going to take this piece here, and we're going to put tear and tape on the inside of this card. And I was looking at it to see which would I deem as the inside. And I'm going to say this is going to be the inside piece. And I'm going to put tear and tape, sort of like I did the other one, all the way along from the top to the bottom. So I'm doing it down the middle portion of that piece. And we'll do the same thing down the middle portion of this piece. And then we just want to make sure those are burnished real well before we go any farther. And then I'm going to do like I did before, just peel off a little bit on the edges here. So I'll have a complete, I'm going to say circle, square, rectangle of tape around the card. So let's do this. I'm going to go right over the old tape and cover it with some more tape. And then I'm just going to burnish that. And we'll come back and take the rest of the tape off in a second. So on the other end, we're going to do the same thing. Just pull off these corner pieces, leaving a little bit of tape down there. And then we'll do, this should be the last of our tear-in tape. It's a relatively easy project. If you break it down into the small elements. And then I'm going to burnish that again. Then we're going to pull these pieces off. And we'll take the ends off. I probably should have checked with our window sheet to make sure we had it cut to the right size. But I think we can do it without having any problems here. Here's our window sheet, and the window sheet is cut at 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches, and that would be 8.9 centimeters by 21.1 centimeters. And I'm trying to check this, make sure it's down the right size, and it looks good. So this is the side that has the tape on it, and we just simply want to lay this right down the center. And that should be leaving about 1/8 of an inch from the edges, from the top and the bottom, and on the right and the left side, somewhere about 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so that is done. Then next we want to do is put our foam tape on here. Now, you could use this edging from your dimensionals and just make sure you butt them all up and go all the way around. But I have purchased the foam tape from Stampin' Up, and that's in strips here. And I'm going to use 2 of these long strips. So let me get the first one out. And I'm going to set that on here. And I'm just putting it on the edge of the window sheet. And I'm going to trim it down here, right back to the edge of the window sheet. And then I think this goes on the other side. No, I hang on to that because that's going to go across the top. But I want to do both sides before I do the top portion. And let's pull this over here. And I'm laying it on the edge of the window sheet. And then we're just going to pinch it off with these scissors at the edge of the window sheet. Then we come in with this. Doesn't matter if I use this on the top or the bottom. And I'm just going to butt it right up on the edge of the window sheet and then right up to this other piece of foam. And we're going along the edge of the window sheet, and I'm coming all the way over here, and I'm going to cut it so that it comes right over the top of this. That's a little shy, but it shouldn't cause that much of a problem. And you know what I'm going to do? I am going to put another piece just inside there. I think I got another small piece right here, just to make sure that that gets all butted up. I'm going to do that just like that. There. There was just a hair here, and I wouldn't want a sequence to start working its way through that. So let's go ahead and do the same thing on this side. We're going to butt it up here. So I'm pushing it against that, and then I'm laying it on the edge of the window sheet and coming over here. And let's see if I can't do a better job this time. Pretty much did the same thing. So I'm going to put this down in here. We'll butt that up there. I'm going to squeeze this foam together so that it doesn't show through here. And I can see it when I tilt it a little bit, but I think once we have the card in there, we'll be fine. I'm just going to hold this up here. I need to find the right angle. Looking for this. You see this edge here? And it matches that. And this little dimple here that matches that. So that's, I have them both in the same direction now. Okay. So I'm going to pull paper off the backings of the foam. And I can use my take your pick tool. That'll probably work a lot better than trying to get on there with my fingernails. And let's see if I get this one. Oh, my head's not getting in there. And let's see if we get this one down here. I'm just going to push it so it's pushed more toward the bottom. And then let's take this paper backing off. Push those two together. And I turned it all the way around, so now I'm not gonna look. I think I did a 360 there. Yeah, I must have did a 360 because I got it. Okay, I'm just making sure that is empty. And I got this nice soft cloth I'm going to use on the inside of our card, just to make sure I don't have any lint in there. And then I'm going to pour in our snowflakes, and I'm going to do the same thing, same formula. Some of the non-Stampin' Up, and then some of the Stampin' Up snowflakes, which has stars and other things. So let's make sure we got them. Some of these are pretty thick, so I'm pulling those out. I think we're good. So now we're going to lay this down on this card. I want to make sure this is down here. Okay. All right, so let's get this lined up here to the corners, and then make sure it lines up at this corner and this corner. All right. There's our shaker card. Okay, then let's add our Seal Plus. I'm not sure if it's going to work because it's empty. So let me see if I can't change one of these. So you just pull this out, and then you put in another one. And you just drop that right in here. Drops right in, and it snaps right back on place. There we go. And I'm going to use this just to get it started again. I think I got it. Okay. And I'm going to bring it in closer to the center portion rather than right to the edge, because we've got that rough edge there. And I don't want those little tabs to be out in the center area. So here's our fa la 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 la. Hey, we did the fa la la's even in the right direction. That's good. Then we're going to lay this down, and we're going to have about 3/8 of an inch for a border around this on all four sides. And then I'm going to take my bone folder. I'm going to do it very lightly on the top here. Then I'll open it up and I'll turn it on the inside and press it down a little more. All right, I think we have all our cards done now. Let's get these back in here. I hope you liked this project as much as I did. I really like shaker cards. My preference is the one with the window sheet, but if you don't have the supplies, it's nice to know you can use a cellophane bag to make a shaker card. Why don't you give it a try? Now, if you've enjoyed today's video, would you do me two favors? Click the thumbs up emoji. That means you like it. And would you share it on social media with your crafting friends and pin it to Pinterest? These actions will help me to keep sharing my ideas with other crafters for free, and I'd really appreciate that. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss any future videos. And if you have any questions, be sure to contact me. I'm here to help in any way that I can. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Just reach out to me. If you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order or would like a catalog, hop over to my website where you'll find the Shop Now button. To shop with me, you'll need to go to joanhaberline.stampinup.net. Bear with me a little bit longer because I want to let you know of the promotion going on right now. It's a fabulous time to join Stampin' Up! New team members will get even more free product in their customizable starter kit. Between October 4th and October 31st, those who sign up will get $155 worth of product for only $99. Plus, you'll get free business supplies, free shipping, and all the fun being a part of Stampin' Up! Just contact me if you want more information. Mark your calendars. I'll be back next Saturday, October 29th at 7 p.m. Central Time. We'll be doing another holiday card. I hope you'll be here to join me. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight. I look forward to next time. Bye for now, and don't forget to subscribe.